We are talking about fall-themed good eats today as we enter the fall season. And we have Shannon Feltus with Urban Farm Foods back on Portland today for this very segment. I'm sure a lot of our viewers had a bountiful summer in terms of their backyard gardens, but not every piece of produce we pick from our gardens is perfect.
No.
Some are overgrown, like the zucchini here. Some are, for lack of a better word, ugly, like this tomato, or is it two tomatoes? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know, some kind of mutant.
But we're going to talk about what to do with some of these fruits and vegetables when you're saying that's not ideal, that's not what I thought I was growing.
Right.
What do we do with them? For maybe example, starting with this tomato.
Sure. So this one is great because if you look at it, it looks awfully complicated. Like, where do you even begin slicing into something like this for a good sandwich slicer? This is a better candidate for something like a sauce or a salsa, where it's perfectly edible. There's just a lot of carving around, and maybe it's a little softer too. Like these guys also, some of them have imperfections, but that's still perfectly edible. You could use it for doing sauces that you would use with something else as well. Sure. Like this also. This is a really good example of sun scorch, which is super common because we've had this nice hot, really long heat spell. Yeah.
So that area right there, basically.
Perfectly fine. All it is a little damage from the sun. So you chop this off, and the rest of the pepper is used just as normal.
I am looking at the salsa and the sauce next to it. Are those similar in terms of taste?
This would be a pasta sauce. You would just do tomatoes and some parsley and garlic and onions. This one has this variety of pepper in it, actually. I have this recipe on our Urban Farm Foods Facebook page. It's just tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, lemon juice, a little tomatillo in there.
You were telling me that you're pretty good about getting your squash out of the garden before it does get overgrown. And in fact, for you, it was tough to find one that's because we sometimes will grow some like twice the size of this.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is still pretty large.
Yes.
What do we do with those large, oversized produce items like this?
So the best thing, some people look at this, or when they get even more large, it's hiding under a leaf, you don't find it, it's as big as your arm by the time you pick it. Right. So these guys, the seeds inside are the problem because they get nice and hard and it's not the best just for slicing and eating in a regular recipe. If you take that and you cut it into rounds and you hollow out those hard seeds, the skin is still perfectly edible and soft. So you could make something like this where it's a squash bake. You could put some of this pasta sauce in it, some rice, some spinach, some cheese, bake it in the oven, and it's kind of like a veggie lasagna type flavor.
But we're thinking even maybe when it get this big, not ideal for zucchini bread?
Actually, that's the most common thing folks do is they cut it apart, cut the seeds out, and grate it up. But those gratings, if you save that, you can freeze it. You can mix it with potatoes and make hash browns, little added veggie flair there. You could use a regular like vegetable slicer and do noodles, like the zoodles.
Absolutely. No, someone in our neighborhood brought over a dish where it was just basically stringed zucchini with some lemon sauce over the top of it. It was amazing. It's
really great. You don't even have to cook them when they're like this as well. You can eat them fresh.
Any chance as we say goodbye that this recipe is also available on your Facebook page?
I will make it happen.
All right, thank you. Urban Farm Foods Facebook page is where you want to get more great advice from our guest here, Shannon Feltus. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you very much.